Anybody who has managed a sales team knows the pains and pressures of an opportunity slipping. Today, I'm going to walk you through how Salesforce can automatically notify you that an opportunity date has been pushed backwards. So what you're going to want to do first is have a test record that you can test with. Obviously, what I would recommend is doing this in a sandbox. But you're going to want to have a test record that is created by somebody on the sales team. So, for example, we've got Oscars on the sales team, and we've just got this blank opportunity here. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that everybody on your sales team has a manager assigned to them. To check, you can go to the users within setup, and to get to setup, you just press the cog in the top right-hand side, and then you press setup. But in your users, you want to scroll down to the bottom and make sure that the manager field is populated. This is what we're going to be using to send the notification. So when an opportunity has moved, the manager of whoever owns the opportunity will get notified that it has moved. So once you've gone through and added managers to all of the sales team, the next thing that you're going to want to do is create a new field to track how many times the opportunity has been pushed. Now, you don't have to do this, but for me, this is quite a simple add-on and something that can be quite powerful. So I've already created the field, but essentially you're just going to want to create a new number field. And as you can see, I've just set the length to 2 because I don't envision it being pushed more than 99 times. Once you have your number field, you're then going to want to create the automation in the back end. So the automation for this, we're going to want to use Flow. So to navigate to Flow, we go to Setup, and then we search for Flow. And we're going to want to create a new record triggered flow. So if you press New Flow, then press Triggered Automations, and press Record Triggered Flow. Now, I've already created the flow here just to speed things up. But essentially what you're going to want to do is the criteria to begin with, you're only going to want it to be when a record is updated on the opportunity object. And then for your entry criteria, you're going to want to look at the close date and then just mark the operator as is changed and mark the value as true. From there, we're then going to want to make sure that the opportunity is pushed further into the future. If the opportunity date has been brought closer, then we don't want to get notified about that because it's actually a good thing. So we're going to want to then add a decision. In my decision, I am looking for the close date. So going to the triggering opportunity and selecting the close date. I then want to compare that to the prior value. So I'm going to select greater than. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to prior value, prior values of triggering opportunity. And then from there, again, I can select the close date. So what this is doing is it's comparing the new date against what the previous date was, making sure that it's been pushed further into the future. From there, we're going to ignore the default outcome, and we're just going to look at the decision path that we just created. So I'm going to do a few things in here. The first thing is I'm going to populate the number of times that it's slipped. So all I'm going to do here is add an assignment. I need to create a variable for this. So I've created just a simple record variable here. As you can see, we're just looking, it's a data type of record, it's a variable type, and we're just doing it on the opportunity. From there, I select the record ID and I set it to the record ID of this opportunity. So just going to triggering opportunity and finding the ID. And then what I'm going to want to do is the same. So go to the record variable that we just created. and then find the number of days field that we created earlier. So the number of times, sorry, not days. So the number of times this has been updated. And then we're going to want to add. Let me properly do this. We're then going to want to add, so not equal, add. So whatever's there currently, we're then going to want to add 1. After that, you're just going to want an update records, and then you're just going to want to update and reference the record variable that we just created and we just assigned values to. The second thing that I need to do is I've created an assignment for the recipients of the notification. So this could be one person, this could be multiple people, but essentially all I'm doing here is the same. I've created a record variable and I'm adding the manager's ID. So to show you this, I'm going to the triggering opportunity, then I'm going to the owner of the opportunity, then I'm going to the manager of the opportunity. So I'm selecting the manager's ID, and that will bring the user who is the manager of that opportunity owner. From there, I can then actually send the notification. So in terms of the notification, there's a few different options that you can do. You can do a Slack notification. That's all native in Salesforce now. You can do a push notification, like an in-app notification. So obviously when you log into Salesforce, you have the little bell icon in the top right. We can push a notification there. We could do an email if we wanted, or obviously if we're connected to any other systems, we can push, some outbound messaging to those systems. For this example, I've just done an in-app notification. So I've created a custom notification in setup, and then I've just entered the notification body, the title, and who should be receiving that. And I'm relating it to the opportunity that is triggering this automation. Now, as you can imagine off the back of this, there's lots of different things that you can do. An example that I've done is I actually wanted to push a notification to the owner of the opportunity when they push an opportunity back, to prompt them to chase the prospect. Now, this could be that they've already chased them or not, but if they have, they can just very, very quickly tick it off. If not, it's obviously prompting them to chase the prospect. So for this, I've just created a new task, and I've entered in the details here. So who it should be assigned to, the due date, which record it's associated to the opportunity, and then just a simple subject. So that is as complicated as the flow gets. It's a very, very simple flow. Just to recap, the entry criteria is looking at the close date has been changed. We then have a decision to make sure it's going in further into the future. We then increase the number of times that it's slipped by 1. We assign the notification IDs of who should be notified of this change. We then update the opportunity with the number of times it's slipped. We then notify the manager, and I've added an additional task creation which gets sent to the owner of the opportunity. So to see what this looks like, you're going to want to go back to your test opportunity, and I'm just going to want to change the date. You need to make sure you've activated the flow, and that you are, if you're testing this, that you are the manager of the owner of this opportunity. So you say, for example, Oscar, I am Oscar's manager in Salesforce. So if I push this into the future and press save, 2 things are going to happen. You can see it's created a task for Oscar, and that's due today. And then it's also created a notification for myself. You can see this here. You can see a previous test one I did as well. But I can also press into this because I related it to the opportunity. And when the manager presses this, they'll get sent to the opportunity that has been pushed back. One thing that I would probably recommend coupling with this is setting up field history tracking. So obviously right now, there's no way of seeing what the previous date was. But if you go to history, you can see I've set it up here. You can see the close date and what it's been changed to. So for example, it was originally the 24th and now it's the 27th. I would recommend setting this up. If you want to see how to do that, you just go to Object Manager, then you go to Opportunity. We'll go to Fields and Relationships, and then we're going to want to go to Set History Tracking. From here, we can select different fields that we want to track when they're changed. But obviously for this use case, we want to make sure that the close date has been ticked. That is as simple as it gets. With this automation, you will get notified every time that an opportunity has slipped. The manager will be able to action that straight away. They'll be able to chase and actually have visibility on opportunities that have moved. And hopefully when it comes to forecasting, managers can have a bit more of a better gut feel on how accurate the forecasts are.